welcome to another episode of Resilient Riches. I have one of the most amazing guests coming in today. Everybody's seen him live. Everybody's seen him for years. He loves pickles. It's something a little different that he does. He's an Israeli American. If you've seen some of his videos talking about what's going on in Israel, what's going on in the world, he talks about everything. He's not scared to address what's going on both sides. Rami, aka Kosha Dillz, and we have his amazing friend that he met in Israel, Isabella, aka
Truffle Mami.
Truffle Mami. Got my dad here in Israel.
There you go.
And
what's his nickname?
His name is the GOAT because he's the greatest of all time.
My grandkids call me Z because they can't pronounce Zadie, so Z it is.
Z, okay.
So right now he's in Israel. He's my grandmother has taken on herself to cook 500 meals a minimum a day for the soldiers. So every single day, an 83-year-old woman's cooking. She's got like a whole team now in her apartment. Every single day, she's cooking 500 meals, bringing it to the soldiers, and she's just loving it. So my mom and dad actually flew to help her because they just want to be part of this amazing thing. But that's something that we do.
I'm not doing. I'm not. Let me just clarify. I'm not doing any help.
My dad's video's off, but if you see, my dad's more on the eating versus the cooking. So they tried to take him out of the eating version because now there was only 400 meals for the soldiers because he took 100 for himself. But we're trying to get him back to losing weight. But it's a good part. If you can introduce yourselves, please give us like your background. Tell us about what you're doing. We love what you're doing. We see it everywhere.
Cool.
Tell us about you.
Rami Even-Esh, go by the rap name Kosha Dillz, stand up, hip hop, cast member on Wild and Out. And I'm based in New York City. Been rapping for a really long time. Also really passionate. Some say you're an advocate, you're an activist. I call myself an enthusiast. I've really loved to learn about all Jewish things, and just I really enjoy the niche facts of being a Jew and all cool stories that come with it. And most recently, since October 7th, I've been doing street interviews, interviewing people at Israel rallies, Palestine rallies, trying to find what people are really thinking and how they feel. And it's seemed to make a lot of people laugh. It's comical, it's real, it's heartbreaking. And it all started from making a song called Bring the Family Home, which we are finally bringing home some people. Yep. So my next song will probably be about Susan Sarandon or ceasefires. I don't know, either or. Yeah. Isabella. That's pretty it. That's pretty much it.
I cannot wait for the Susan Sarandon song.
Okay.
It's going to be amazing. I'm going to make it my ringtone. Hi guys, I'm Isabella.
Hey Isabella.
As seen on Jewish Matchmaking, if you recognize me from there, I'm the Mezuzah girl.
Ooh.
And I'm a photographer, and I like to focus my photography on Jews in the diaspora. So I lived in South Africa and Ethiopia in 2013 and 2018, photographing and documenting the Jewish communities there. And I like to learn about Jews around the world and how all of our cultures are so different, but obviously one thing unites us, and it's the love of Judaism. And for many, it's the love of Zionism. And I'm a proud Zionist. And that will never change.
Yeah.
So thank you to the world for making that even stronger now.
Yeah, they've united us in a different point. And I used to travel. So my goal, because we grew up incredibly poor, that we couldn't travel. We used to drive places, but it's really hard to drive to Europe. It's just a tough commute on the car when you have that old. What was the name of the car, Dad? Did it even have a name?
Not incredibly poor. I wouldn't say incredibly poor.
I would put it,
but it wasn't incredibly poor. We had 6 kids and expense and and tuition. You have private school tuition, mortgage. You have a lot of expenses.
My dad used to give us an allowance of $7, and then when we said, "Dad, where's my $7?" He goes, "We're in a recession." We're like, "This recession
I even
sucks."
forgot allowances exist.
Those are good. Those are good.
I love the early hustle.
So
it's supposed to be $7 for all of you. That was the problem.
So I used to travel a lot, and I used to go to every single Jewish community. Whenever we travel, I still travel. I've been to about 45 countries. My goal is to get to every single country in the world, and I'll get there. So the goal is to get everything. We're nomads. That's really the key.
Yeah.
But before we get into really the topic, tell us where Kosha Dillz came from. Tell us where you got that name, because that's it's like an icon.
It was it's like a multiple, usage. It was like a euphemism. It was a business style, and it was like a Jewish identity. And, one time I was 17, I went to a rap battle and somebody made fun of me, Kosha Dillz pickles, or something. And I remember I felt really bad. And then I'm like, I'm changing it to KD Flow. So that was like a thing. There was like MF Doom. There was a guy named Pac FM. So I was KD Flow. It was just initial, some action. And then, I got sober probably the end of 2004, a lot of trials and tribulations with drugs. And when I came out and got sober, I was like, all I wanted to do was just release a record. Like that was like my statement piece of like, I am a hip hop artist. I'm going to release a record. No record label would give me any time of day. So I just made my own record called Matzah for Your Mouth Records. So if you ever send me a PayPal, it pops up as Matzah for Your Mouth Records. And that's the number 4, YO_MOUF. And that was really it. Like my MySpace was Kosha. It was really a sexual reference, became a pickle. Pickles became popular in like 2015 with Pickle Rick. And I started branding things with the pickle shirts and pickle socks and pickle this and pickle that. Because people like pickles now.
Do you like pickles? Was that it? Or?
Not really. I was never like a big pickle guy. You know what I'm saying? But listen, if you work at the ice cream store, not everyone just eats ice cream.
Yeah. You don't want to be that. Exactly. You don't want to be that hippo at the.
But I'm not a guy. I like pickles. You know what I mean? I'm not like some guy that's just obsessed.
You're not taking out the pickles from the sandwich. You're letting them in, but you're not saying double up me.
I'm not the pickle connoisseur. I mean, there are other people that are more deserving of the name, but the name is mine.
Good for you. And so when we look at life and we look at different people and people who have had success, and we don't view success in terms of a dollar sign, we view success as somebody who's passionate about something and they've achieved the optimal and the number one place in their art. And for you, it's being passionate about being Jewish, being passionate about rapping, being passionate about being a Jewish rapper. And you're probably number one right now in the world, I would say.
Public enemy number one. No. And there's other great Jewish rappers. BLP Kosher, he's from Florida. They have, Modest Yahoo, sort of the original. You have Remedy from Wu-Tang, who made the first ever song about the Holocaust, Never Again, on the Wu-Tang collaborative album that sold over 1 million copies. So that was like groundbreaking. I mean, you have the Beastie Boys. And then you have, those are like the original trio of Jewish rappers. But you even have people before that are, niche things that just existed. And then you have, Nassim Black, he's a Black Jewish rapper. So now I think that diversifying voices, there's a new Black West Side Gravy. There's a lot of Black Jewish rappers. There's, different, like you were saying, different faces. It's not just like one cop. Lil Dicky, he's different. So me, I just like to be myself, authentically myself. That shines through as the number one Jewish rapper. Definitely that's speaking up for Israel.
Of course.
That's my thing. But I'm also, someone who was born into that identity. So I felt like, I always tell people, if I was born with a Mexican family, I would be like that. If I was born with, Venezuelan, I would probably that.
Where does that come from? Standing up for standing up?
I think, my parents, my grandfather fought in the Polish army, then they fled Poland, he fought in the Russian army, he fled, Russia, and he fought in the Israeli army, and he fought in 48, and then my father fought in 67, my father fought in 73, and my brother joined, when I was like 12 in Israel, I would like have pictures with his guns and stuff, not knowing if my brother would come home alive, I would just, this is what I was learning at a young age, right, that I just really liked. I wanted to stick up and fight for myself and be able to do that. And now it's just a different sort of fight, right? I prepared myself most of my life. We were all wrestlers. I wrestled D1 in college.
Where'd you wrestle?
We're all
wrestled. Oh, my brother went to Rutgers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he started the club program there.
Oh, he started the club?
He couldn't wrestle on Shabbat, so he started the club program.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, he still wrestles. He still goes around the world wrestling.
Really? Yeah. Wrestling is,
he's 30. The best. So, yeah, we know Kendall Cross, Valentin Kalika. Yeah, he's coming to the podcast, trying to get
Kendall Cross is coming to the podcast.
Yeah,
this is like wrestling royalty.
And Valentin Kalika calls me all the time. He's very annoying.
I would love to meet them. Yeah, you should get Mitch Feinsilver. He wrestles for the Israeli team.
So that's easy for us. But we can. Yeah, like. We're right now talking. Valentin would come in at any moment. He's the USA Wrestling coach for the Olympic team, for the world team. We're working on a meet Allure right now, but Valentin and her had a breakup, so now they're not talking. But we can easily get Carrizo in. That's no problem. If you know Camizzo, so he can come in. We got a lot of, my brother still wrestles with all these people. He goes to their club and he's good friends.
Yeah.
And then they call him about finances and they talk to us, and it's a different type of celebrity because they don't make any money. So
yeah. Wrestlers don't make as much money.
He was invited to wrestle in Egypt, and in the end, when they saw that he was Jewish, they wouldn't let him wrestle.
Yeah.
He flew all the way there. He took a friend with him.
And he flew to Egypt, and then they saw he was Jewish, and then they didn't let him wrestle.
So he flew to Egypt
to wrestle.
Aren't we're in a peace treaty with Egypt.
Correct.
They invited him.
And they invited him. Oh, but you're a Jew.
He wears a big tribe. He has a big tribe. He has a big tribe singlet on his back.
Yeah. So according to my son, it's because when they saw in Egypt how he was beating everybody, that's when they said he couldn't wrestle anymore. But that's yet to be proved. That's yet to be verified.
So what's really interesting is that I grew up in Jersey, and when I was wrestling, there was this guy from Ocean named Aviv Berkowitz. And I think he went on to wrestle like American. And there was another guy named Rami, who was Lebanese. And like back then, they would make the singlets. So we would get custom singlets. So like one dude had the Israeli singlet. And there was like one Israeli because my parents like connected with it. We were like, oh, there's another Israeli dude. And then there was the other Ron. And they were both badass. Like, we were like, the prime people like representing in that. And it's just sports teaches you how to rep culture because you're brought up through Olympic vibes. So anyone who's in sports is more likely to be an advocate for their country because that's what sports is like. Olympic sports has taught us. So you're playing these video games. We're just like, World Cup, everything is like what country? Algeria, Tunisia, Spain, France, Israel.
Absolutely.
You're playing in FIFA and you're like, I want to be Israel in FIFA. That's what you want.
Absolutely.
So
when did you stop wrestling? After college?
Yeah, it's like 2 years in, and in my junior year, I was just like hooked on drugs. So I kind of was like, all right, wrestling's out the way, school's out the way, and it's full-time drugs.
Yeah. So I went to Rutgers also.
You need to make time to prioritize the drugs.
Yeah, it's just about
my junior year where it's my value system shift.
This is way better and way easier. Let's just.
And then I started coaching and stuff like that, like volunteer coaching, and I got sober and stuff.
Where'd you coach?
Just some stuff at my high school, Edison, and then I did Highland Park. And the really sad thing is, one of the guys that I volunteer coached, went to the States, and he ended up getting convicted of murder.
Really?
Yeah, and so just a lot of sick people out there that have a lot of trauma, and who knows what the hell is going through.
Yeah. You try to help as many people as you can. I coached at JEC, the Yeshiva High School in Elizabeth, New Jersey.
That's sick.
Yeah. My brother started.
Are there any badasses in Yeshiva that are like killers or like?
There's
killers
one
as in
guy
like killer athletes. Good. I just need to clarify.
There was one guy. This guy, Naftali Horowitz. He was very good.
Sounds like
but very good. Valentin Kalika's Jewish. So he's Israeli Ukrainian. So he's the real deal.
Anyone from
he sounds tough.
He's tough. He's tough. He's like 66. He just had like a baby. That's very tough. Just to have that.
He's 66
and he just had a baby like 2 years old.
I think for his wife, that's a little tougher. Not really him.
Yeah, but
he
had it.
Yeah, there you go.
He didn't do very much.
That's accurate. My wife can attest to me not doing much and her doing most of the heavy lifting or heavy pushing, whatever you want to describe it as. But
listen, my last two kids were twins. Twins were brutal. We're still recovering from the twins 23 years later.
So your brother's doing something really amazing, and I haven't gotten past what was your defining moment, but I want to hear about what your brother's doing, and let's try to get something for your brother.
So I have two brothers. I'll go through the middle brother, and then I'll go to my oldest brother. Just so my middle brother, Zach, or his Hebrew name Tzachi, and he became like a strength coach. I used to cut school to go do drugs. He used to cut school to go to the gym, and he was also a wrestler, really hardcore dude, and he started doing strength training, and when he was a teenager, he won Mr. Israel, the bodybuilding competition.
What's your brother's name?
Zach Even-Esh.
Who's near dad? What's the Mr. Israel? Near Zavaro? Is that?
I don't know.
My oldest son was in yeshiva near Jake in Yerushalayim many, many years ago. There was someone he was to train with, and who was called Mar Israel. He was Mr. Israel at the time.
Oh, yeah.
And I spoke to him like a year ago. He was looking for some financial help, and he's living out in Brooklyn now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Connect him with.
I only know him as Mar Israel.
Go ahead.
Maybe I'll connect him with my bro.
Yeah, that's funny.
So my brother, he does strength training, and just teaches people how to like lift tires, and he was doing that. You know what I mean? It's like
absolutely.
He has his own gym called the Underground Strength Gym. He's
my brother's gym is underground training. They have the same thing.
Really?
Tires in the back.
Yeah,
I'm not joking.
Tires, chains,
all of it.
No whips, but I mean, but yeah, all
during the
stuff.
day,
yeah, kettlebells, that sort of thing, pushing cars. That's like what he did, like before YouTube and everything. He was just really doing that. And my other brother,
I'm sure they know each other.
Maybe a lot of people know my brother Zach.
Yeah, a lot of people know my brother MB, but he looks like probably.
I'd say a lot of people probably know my brother. No, like
your brother's cooler than my brother.
My brother's cool.
Yeah, they're both big.
And my other brother, my oldest brother, Alon, he was.
We don't say MB's cool though.
Yeah. My oldest brother, Alon, is a really interesting story. He was in Israeli Special Forces. Then he came back, went to county college. He went to Columbia, majored in political science. Then he became a Marine after he got his degree. Then he couldn't get security clearance to go to overseas war because he was Israeli, and which was just kind of he was in two militaries, and then he was in a marriage earlier, and then he with someone who wasn't Jewish but met through the military, and then he became more Jewish, split, and then came from and he has 5 kids, and now he was never had a regular job. He started teaching Krav Maga and self-defense for Jewish communities. So he protects Jewish communities. He consults, does security, etc. He's done consulting with churches. He used to live in Queens and train kids how to fight. And rising anti-Semitism is essentially, I'd say it's good for business, I guess. But people need to learn how to fight because there's people seeing these videos of others getting attacked, and that's sort of what he's doing. He's teaching people how to respond to an armed shooter when no one has a gun. These are things that happen consistently. And he's just staying sharp, man. He's just when you meet him, you're this dude was born to be in the military.
Yeah. he's this tough,
serious guy. Yeah. He's Rami, he's you need to prepare yourself. I'm I'm just going to get food. He's prepare it. You're
bring everything
with
you.
So he teaches fighting, and that's it. He teaches people how to respond. Self-defense.
It's something I love that's happened is that everybody, instead of sitting complacent and sitting back and doing nothing, everybody that stands for something is using whatever ability they have to go out and do something about it. So Isabella, you like photography. I'm sure you're taking millions of pictures of Jews and trying to bring their story. You're talking to people using your platform. We're using our platform. And we're all doing our strength. My grandmother's 83. She loves to cook, so she's cooking for 500. Everybody's doing their strength.
That's crazy.
Shout out to your grandma.
Shout out to your grandma.
83. She loves it. She's
It's more than a restaurant, by the way.
It's very serious amount of food.
Yeah. I have some friends in Israel who would love to go help.
She
including me.
She's more than welcome. When you go visit her. You'd love her. She's
what's her name?
Her name's Chicky, but Shokafe is her. She's Persian.
Chicky.
Exactly.
So I came in on we came in on Sunday. So the first day we went over was we got landed on Monday. Went over to her apartment. It's like a food factory over there. It's 15, 20 people. Everybody hard at work, cutting, mincing, cooking. It's unbelievable. So I suggested to them after the war's over, they should form a catering company. They've already got all the things working together. Everything's already done. Yeah. They looked at me in horror and they says, no way. They've got a job. They got a life to get back to.
You thought that was an open season. This is a good business opportunity. You guys are thinking money all the time. Everyone's already working. You guys like each other.
This worked.
So people would hire them to take to the weddings.
Already. You're doing such a great job. That's the next step. Yeah, that's the next step. No way. They were in horror.
So your brother, I love that your brother is doing what his strength is. And is he volunteering? Tell us.
I mean, he's, there's Shomer 360 Krav Maga. Check him out. Elon Even-Esh, Eilon Even-Esh. He's in Florida.
Yeah.
And he gets calls to do things. He's always volunteering his time because he lives and breathes it. You know what I mean?
So why don't we do, because it's
in Florida.
Coral Springs?
Cool. Oh. This whole time you were talking about it, I was I wish I could go meet him and and then I just realized it's really close to me.
That's perfect.
Yeah. So why don't we do? Typically, trainers are $100 an hour. Classes are $100.
I think he's $150 an hour.
Okay.
So I asked him before. We'll sponsor. I'll try to get a deal.
Good. So let's, regardless of what it is, we'll sponsor 10 classes. So $1,500 to your brother. If you can teach more people and if we can help advocate.
And I can bring the people.
You can bring the people. We can make it.
And she could document it.
And
because he is the worst with documenting his stuff. He's like, I don't know how to do it. He's like your father, but worse.
Yeah.
Like you said, when people are bad at that, it's good for business for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, let me take control and document.
I shouldn't get this bad reputation.
You haven't. It's been bad. Yeah, but we'd love to get involved with what your brother's doing. But 10 classes, if he's doing anything volunteering, say, hey, you don't volunteer anymore. We're going to pick that up. So he would be thrilled. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure he's not even asking for money. He's not even looking for money. So we'd love to be a part of that.
Yeah. I mean, so many people do ask, like, it's really interesting is that people are very interested in self-defense, but when it comes to paying and investing and like that, they all of a sudden they kind of like, I don't know. You know, I mean, just general.
You have to. You're not going to be able to fight a terrorist if somebody comes to you, but you're going to be able to understand when you're in a bad situation, and you're going to be able to understand where the escape route's out and getting away. That's like the basics of anything. The Krav Maga is like 10 against 1. You're going to lose, but you need to get away from that. You need to see when that moment's going to happen. So it is dangerous. But going back to your life, I want to kind of bring back. You are standing up. Your family always stood up. You wrestled. It sounds like you have a history of people who are just resilient, that just don't stop. But you did something different, because a lot of people have really tough parents, but they come out really weak. Why are you so tough? What was that moment in your life that you said, I'm going to stand up and I'm never going to back down?
I think, I loved wrestling, because wrestling was like fighting. And like, to be honest, if you look at the entire Jewish community as a whole, like most people haven't gotten their like head split open, and I have, and it just changes who you are as like a person, and I was like, when I was locked up for the short time I was locked up, I got into a gang of fights. I got beat up really bad. When I was younger, I got into fights. I mean, I come from an era of fighting, and I don't think fighting is bad. I just think that people that have the confidence in fighting need to be able to have that confidence in life. And Jews, in our general perception, is that Jews are essentially weak people, right? Hence, therefore, we have to control things. That's like kind of the theory. And I would say amongst the Jewish circles that I'm in, people definitely need to step it up and learn how to be stronger. And a lot of my identity as Kosha Dillz was like based on like characters in like Italian mafia movies as like the Jewish guy that was like a savage, or Ill Bill and Necro, or like just tough Jewish gangster stuff. And that's sort of what I always wanted to embody. Someone who's really confident, someone that everyone's screaming at me, and you go into a rally and everyone's like, da, 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 da. And you're just like, I love it. I want all the smoke. And like, that's what my brothers, kind of like all of us, we sort of developed that. Like, they're not our family. Like, now there's a gun control. Like, we come from a family that like never thought about gun control, or thought about like everyone had a gun. It's just a different concept. It's just a different experience. We have a different experience. You know what I mean? And for me, my life experience is like, how do I become confident? Battle rap, embarrassing somebody, getting roasted, getting booed off stage. Like, I don't know. Most people haven't been booed off stage. Like, I've been booed by thousands. and I remember getting booed by so many people, and I was like, I love this shit. Like, I love it. Like, I want all the smoke. I want someone to da, 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 da. I like it. Yeah. I'm sick like that. No,
you like it, but you can handle it. You can handle it.
If you could handle the high pressure situations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it's nerve wracking to go on. I mean, we just did a TMZ thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're just like,
I went on
just playing. I had no clue what we're doing. That happened like within the past hour. It was like transpiring. You're like, all right. Like, I'm not prepared. I don't know. You're just like, I am. You know what I mean?
I went on Fox a couple weeks ago on their Good Morning America or something like that, one of their early morning show. And it was just like, oh, here are your talking points. I was like, they're like, what do you want to talk about? This. They go, yeah, we're not going to talk about that. Like, I'm literally watching Fox in their green room, and they're saying ISIS is coming back to the region, and here's Herzog. We're going to hear from an IDF veteran on what he thinks. I go, am I the IDF veteran? Because I'm not prepared for this. And I just go, and you just do. You know what? You just do it, and you just do, and you get up, and your passion just comes out of you, and you just have to stand up. And then from there, you get picked up, and you move, and you build, and you in my world. the people don't have success in financial services when you're young. You get age discriminated a lot.
Right.
And I went,
you're young.
You're,
so I wouldn't invest with you because you're young.
What the hell does this guy know? And and I went, you know what? I need to find a way to make my success work for me. And we have over 1,600 clients. We have a business I can sell tomorrow. I never have to think about it. Yeah. We don't even think about money anymore. And we grew up thinking about money and controlled our family. And that's brought my dad in. My dad's built some amazing success in this practice too. So it's a son-father business. And we built and we brought in more people and we hired more people. And it's just been amazing because if you just are in the moment and you know who you are and you have that self-confidence, you're able to stand up and you're able to continuously do. And that's why we can't stop doing. Mm-hmm. So people are like, oh, I'm tired. I go, yeah, good. You know who else is tired? Our friends on the Gaza border.
Yeah, let me just say also, I mean, what you're saying, Amir, is really amazing because, I think we Jewish people now are coming up with a new identity. I was just thinking about it this morning. I went for lunch over Cafe by the marina in Herzliya, and I'm looking around at the Israelis. They're, everybody's jabbering away in Hebrew. And a guy sits down, he's got a bulge in the back because he's carrying a gun. It's like, in New York City, you wouldn't see that like a regular Jew. Like who would know that 100 years ago? Like he's just carrying a gun because maybe something's going to happen, and he's prepared at a moment's notice to go and do something about it, like we've seen in the borders in Jerusalem and all of that thing. There's also another, just to let you know, in my son's gym, there's a fellow from Passaic, nice yeshiva bacher, small, skinny guy, never worked out, and somehow he met up with my son and became my son became his Rebbe, his rabbi now. They went to Tough Mudder the first time, which I'm sure you guys know is the obstacle course. This guy doesn't own a pair of sneakers. He comes with his Shabbos shoes.
Ran 14 miles through a mud course in Shabbat shoes.
And he gets stuck in the mud, and he's going through the rest of it, and he's going through the rest of the obstacle course in his socks because they got stuck in the mud and he had to leave his shoes behind. This guy now, as he says, my son changed his life. Like he's now confident, strong, still very small, but he's strong, confident. Exactly what you're saying. I think the Jewish people as a nation are having a new identity. Exactly what you're saying. Exactly what I saw today.
I feel like Jewish women have definitely, at least for me, what I see like online are a lot of Jewish women really speaking up, and it's mostly like men that aren't doing stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Especially like, I mean, I had this discussion with some other people that are very in like the chamber of activating for Israel. And I was like, is it all women and gay men? And I was like, where are the just normal dudes? Because I don't know, like, I've always sort of been like this for so many years. And then so that's why I'm like, reaching out to you, and just people have contacted me. And I think the best thing about one strong Jew is that if someone's displaying their strength, like sort of like a bodybuilder, or I ran a marathon, and these like long terms of, that just show muscle, it inspires other people, like not even directly to physical lifting or anything like that. Or, just like you see a successful person that came up from not having any money and making money, and now they're like inspired, and people are just taking it however they take it, and they just run with it in their own way. So she sees a photographer that's talented, she likes, and she's like, yeah, she might be bigger than that photographer, or this person sees me, and they go out, make their videos or whatever, or make a song, and that's bigger than that.
That's what it is. What you've done is you've created a movement that we do not have to be scared. It's the media puts these people in their own category, and everyone goes, oh, run away from them. They're really, really scary. But honestly, they're people, and many of the times they're very uneducated. So what you're doing is you're actually engaging these people and creating education, and you're going to kind of rehab people. And we were talking over the phone. I think you should write a book. And I don't know, maybe call it the rehab of the American Jew, or the American mind, or something like that, or rehab of the Hamas mind.
There's this thing someone said, and I don't know who it is. So sorry to lose who to give credit to. But like, I believe in counseling, not canceling. Yeah. And some of the people that were in the videos of me that got canceled or doxxed. And I'm like, oh man, they were nice. You know what I mean? But like, obviously if you say something outrageous, like you will get fired from your job. Like that's just what happens in general. Any job. Hey, tell your boss, go screw yourself. I don't feel like showing up for work. You'll get fired. Yeah. So if you go out and say, you know what, screw your friend's family, and I don't really care, rip down a poster, you're going to lose your job. But difference is the first time you cursed off your boss, you were just a dick. This time, you know, you were sort of infiltrated in something that you thought you were doing was of a higher purpose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's the
absolutely.
difference. When you curse off your boss and get fired, you're not thinking you're of higher purpose, but you're like, you're like imagining, like, I'm just going to stick up for myself.
Yeah. Now you're sticking up for the people who can't stick up for themselves.
Yeah. So no one's gone back and said like the counseling, the rehabbing, like I know celebrity rehab works sometimes for celebrities. It's really hard to get sober. Yeah. Like in general, like most people fail at it, like multiple times. I've been sober over 19 years, right? I've had multiple arrests, you know, I've been arrested for like 4 times, you know, and I probably should have been arrested 30 times, right? Mm-hmm. But like the point being is once you begin that journey of like even trying to rehabilitate yourself, it stays in your mind forever, right? So if I'm like sober and then I go back out and like relapse on drugs, it's like if someone's like, yo, you know what? I lost my job. I lost everything. I've been canceled. I said some stuff and I just started researching this topic within the past 6 months. This one girl, she wrote like a paper on Palestine. So she felt like, you know, she knew everything. And, you know, she got canceled. I'm like, it sucks. She lost her job at like a country club or something, mm-hmm. ironically. Yeah.
Because they didn't allow Jews for a long time.
And that like, exactly, like to even understand the deep levels of anti-Semitism within the country club community. Yep. You know what I mean? Because I just performed at a country club that was a Jewish country club created because
they didn't allow most of the country clubs did not allow, and also a lot of the real estate brokers wouldn't allow Jews in certain sections.
Mm-hmm.
And
listen, my father, when he was growing up, my father, when he was young, he says that he couldn't get in. He was in Toronto. We grew up in Toronto, and there were many, many country clubs, all these things, no Jews allowed. It's very common.
But you know, ultimately, I'm hoping just I don't know where the videos are going to go and stuff, and just in general, but it's like you're helping the way you can financially because that's like your thing, you know. Mm-hmm. And dude, you know, who's going to finance the people that were canceled and bring them to like, why not? You know what I mean? You guys want free trips you know, take you everywhere.
Yeah, why not?
Like,
the people who were canceled, we take them to Israel.
Take them to Israel. Like, here's the trip. You know, I don't know, or not. You could not go.
Some people were offered. Some of them were offered. Some of them were offered trips to Israel. You know, you can see the conversations on LinkedIn. They were offered to, you know, you say that the hostages don't exist, or we'll take you to Israel. We'll show you.
Right.
That's where they stop. They're not willing to go and actually
exactly. But I am willing to go there and show more truth. I love it because also like I want to see it for myself and I want to show other people that aren't able to do it. Like some people are terrified and can't go out their house. Some people go out, take pictures at the rallies. Some people could go out, be at the rallies. Everyone has their sort of thing, right? How they're dealing with it. And they have every right to, man. That's like the privilege we all have of not being in Israel and Palestine right now.
Yeah, that you're able to do something.
Yeah, we don't need a bomb shelter here. But, you know, the anti-Semitism and I would say, I'm not going to say about Islamophobia because I definitely know it exists. But in my direct circle, there's a lot of fear. Everyone's just so afraid. You know what I mean? It's like it's terrifying, honestly. What's more terrifying for me is not me being terrified, is how many other people are like paralyzed.
Yeah.
Because they're afraid and they, you know, want to be positive and Jewish. But the cool thing is, you know, all the Jews are coming together.
That's it.
Because we get killed and we're like, it's going to be another holiday. In 100 years from now, they'll be like, that was the Simchas Torah and the massacre.
October 7th. Yeah, we're never gonna forget it. And we'll do a fasting. Don't be afraid.
That's the most important thing to remember. If you take anything from this podcast, in my opinion, the most important thing to remember with all of this and for the rest of your life is that fear will not drive you to peace. It won't help you be better in any part of your life. Awareness is one thing that is a way that you can understand your emotions, but fear will not help you. And I want to say I want to shout out 2 people that really, really helped me see that because I was drowning in fear like never before in my life after October 7th for about 2 to 3 weeks. Multiple panic attacks, crying in the car, couldn't even go to any of the engagements that I had made or any event couldn't work because I was stuck in the car crying so many times. And that's not to gain any pity. That's not what anyone wants when they talk about these stories, like Jews, allies of Jews, Israelis, when they talk about October 7th. We don't want any pity. We just want you to know we are suffering, but we're not afraid. And if you feel afraid, you need to channel that emotion and change it. And two people that really helped me do that are Michael Rappaport. I'm sure he helped both of you as well with his screaming videos. They really helped. And another person is Remy Franklin. I don't know if you know him.
I love Remy.
He's very tough, but he's also very like soft-spoken about it. So I needed like someone to just yell the confidence back into me. And then Remy was able to softly like explain it. And both of their videos have really helped. And obviously your videos, watching like the way that you very calmly speak to misinformed, I don't even want to say anti-Semitic, because I think some of those people are so young that their brains aren't even fully formed. Like their amygdalas and prefrontal cortexes have not been formed because they're not even 25 yet. So I don't want to label them. I think people that are older and their brains are fully formed and they're able to really truly form their thoughts. I'm not saying those younger people are blameless, but the older people I want to blame a little more because they have more experience and their brains work a little better. But when I hit 25, I started to understand things more, and I realized that I was holding on to some hate without meaning to for many years. So I hope those people can change. And when I say that, I'm thinking of actually one specific video that you took that went off. Like it went crazy. You know which one I'm talking about. And I think those people in that video already have learned so much from this, and that's all we can hope. For me, the two things that I hope for are to change fear into like an adrenaline emotion that helps you do good. And then for people who once didn't understand like the Jewish struggle, the Israeli struggle, can maybe through talking to you or through talking to other people, see the video, post it online, and then actually change, not feel more anger. They can feel like maybe there's something I can change. Maybe I was wrong. And learning that you're wrong is so powerful.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
it's the only way we can change, really.
So we just had Ellie Beer on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, and he has his moment that he was 6 years old and a bus gets bombed right in front of him. 6. Bus gets bombed, a few people are dead, and he sees an old man lying on the floor, and he says in Hebrew, "Help me, help me." And he sees the man and he runs away. And he says, "From that moment on, I will never run away when somebody else needs me." And he's now built the largest nonprofit in Israel, and it's growing like crazy. I mean, every huge organization is giving to him. So it's don't be scared. Don't live in fear. Take that fear and use that to drive you, to move you forward. What I find really interesting is so I've been able to be, with my connections, get people on public news, Newsmax, and that's actually where we originally met, and Fox and all these other places.
Wait, where did you guys meet?
At Newsmax.
Oh, okay.
In the green room at Newsmax, yeah.
Nice.
So I was able to get Holocaust survivors, and I reached out to my friends, my business owner community, and the amount of Holocaust survivors that wanted to speak was an unlimited amount. I mean, I got thousands. You're talking about like people like, let me speak. And people whose family were kidnapped, they're like, let me speak. I want to get on. So it's like, I can only get on so many, but it's amazing because I find it that right now, we do not have the luxury of looking in the past. If you look in the past and see what happened, you're going to be paralyzed. You're going to be sitting in your car and you're crying. We do not have that luxury right now. We need to not look at the past, go, this happened. What are we going to do? But if you constantly are watching videos and going and watching it over and over and over again, you get paralyzed. So if we keep moving, that's where we're going to have the strength. And that's how we're going to overcome it. If we stay stuck to what happened and be fearful, we're going to lose this war, unfortunately.
I would say, Yair, also, I would just say, Yair, also, I mean, one of the things that's important when you're feeling that fear, I've gone through it in my financial, and Rami, you've gone through it with your own situation, Yair, Isabella, unfortunately, but you need someone to help you. You know, you can't do it by yourself. And when you're at the bottom and you're struggling, you think there's like no way out. I've gone through it. I felt that there's no way out. You need help. You know, you don't know where to turn. You don't think you're ever going to get out of it. So that's always important to reach out, or for some people to come and help you. And that sounds like that's what you've done with the videos, and also like on our finance side, when people are, and I've gone through it, as I say, you need people to come and help you out. We're not in it by ourselves. We're in it together, and we're here to help everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're here to help.
I was just speaking about money. I remember I was so like addicted to like when I used to hustle, I was like, I would keep all this money in a shoebox in my closet. And I wondered where my weird patterns of like money came from. And when my grandfather passed, because he didn't, you know, from the Holocaust and stuff, they found like tens of thousands of dollars like buried in the floors, you know, and it in like coffee cans and stuff like that, you know, because, and I think about that and I think like, wait, why? Like, one, it's just like, it's sick, like in a cool way, you know, just like, well, you know, but also like in a sad way too, because, you know, that was how my grandfather just felt, you know, he didn't trust, he didn't have the trust. And you have to like, I don't know, the big thing with money and big thing with this whole Israel thing, it's like, you're like, who can I trust? Who can I not trust? And my brother Zach, like I remember we just went out to eat at like some little Israeli spot. He came to see me in a wrestling, Beat the Streets, and he was teaching on strength there and speaking. So we went to go get some food, and he's like, "Dude, you don't leave your bag there." He's like, "Trust no one," and I am like such like a savage, and I'm like, dude, I trust everyone because I lead with like a lot of empathy, and I'm like, I understand that you. That's why there's this one video, and the guy's like, I was speaking to this girl in Spanish. I did an interview in Spanish, and then she was responding in Spanish, and the guy he just chimes in, an older guy, and he goes, "You should applaud them for sticking up against the occupier, and someone had to do something."
Yeah, I saw that.
And I go, "I really love your jacket." He goes, "Thank you very much." So it's just funny because this dude is really just advocated for my death, but I do like your jacket.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's still,
and it's just because there's like something that could like you're saying all this, dude, but you're going to go back and everyone goes after the rally. And it's very similar to the Israeli rallies. You go there and then you go to your restaurant, right?
Yeah.
You go to your restaurant, you get a coffee, and everyone's, you know, having fun, and it's cool, and there's camaraderie.
Go back to being human.
Yeah.
Go back to being human, you know, and a lot of you know, there's a lot of like false terminology, you know, sometimes thrown around. Actually all the time thrown around. And I was trying to like sound like, what can I really side with? You know, I don't believe it's a genocide. I don't believe it's, you know, apartheid, but I do believe we've been dehumanized. You know, Israelis have been dehumanized, and Palestinians obviously feel dehumanized, or else a lot of people wouldn't be acting and we wouldn't be having this conversation if people didn't feel dehumanized, right? The whole reason why we're advocating so much for the Jews, you know, or at least I am, I'll speak for myself, is like, because I feel like my entire life, people have not worked with me because I'm Jewish or too Jewish. And that includes Jewish people.
Of course. Because
they see the name Kosha Dillz. Meanwhile, my real name's Rami. And every time I introduce myself, I say Rami, like, "Oh, where are you from?" And I already know where you're from because your name is this or your name is that. And I know because I've been raised to learn.
Of course.
My father only be like, "Oh, what's his name?
Yeah.
Is he Lebanon? Is he Jordanian, or he's Palestinian? Oh, that's a Syrian name. That's Iraq. Okay. You know, oh, how does he sound? How does he pronounce his P? You know what I'm saying? This is just how we're trained.
Absolutely.
Anyone from the Middle East, especially when so everyone says, "Oh, you could go anywhere with your name and you're American." I said, no, I would name Rami.
Not with a Yair. Doesn't help. I can go to Mexico because there's a Jair out there. Jair, That's really my only other location.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome. I never wanted you to travel.
Yeah, everyone remembers.
Everybody remembers you. Everybody remembers who you are. It's Yair.
It's either they don't remember me or they do. It's one or the other.
Isabella's a little bit safer.
Yeah, that's easy.
It is.
But her
that's
necklace.
good. I love it.
I
love
everyone.
it.
Yeah, I love it.
I have
it's so
mine
good.
now. I got this because I lost my dog tag when I was in the army.
Oh, they bring them
I
home
have to
now?
get one of those.
Yeah, it's great. Klyman gave it to me at
I
the
love
rally.
Shinanu. It's your boy, Bama.
Baza.
Wow.
Boy,
It should
That's
also say
nice.
that in
Nice,
English
right?
because that's really powerful.
Bring them home now.
Yeah. No, I love it. So last thing, just I want to hear how I know we talked about shoebox money and can money and hiding it under the floor. While you were hustling, were there times where you went, you know what, I'm not making money here. What should I do? Because obviously you had some success and you have the George Costanza wallet, which I find very, very ridiculous. That it's filled to the max and the 50s are just like hanging out.
Yeah,
it's probably somewhere around.
It's in my pocket.
People would like a visual.
Yeah, it's a very serious wallet. If anybody wants If anybody's looking for cash, just follow Rami around. There will be loose cash wherever you want. Like yeah.
Oh boy.
So it doesn't even close anymore. Venmo is a thing nowadays. Thanks.
No, I love cash.
But tell us how you think about money.
Well, all right. When I was hustling, I remember the last time I got sober in the end of 2004, and I had like money in my drawers of like in my parents' house. And my father, I went to get arrested. I remember the first time I had done jail time, I think he took the money, or they caught me, and they took the money and they put it into Stryker, like a stock. And I would obsessively, like how I read on Instagram, I would obsessively look at the stock market to see go up, go down, go up, down, just like likes, literally crazy. And
there's a lot of dopamine.
He put a financial, got me in touch with a financial advisor a bunch of years ago. And I went from like 100 a month to like 200 a month.
You like the forced savings plan.
Yeah, like an IRA Roth.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great.
And then I just maxed it out to the 500 like every month. It just takes it out, and I don't even look. And I'm a very big fan of automated payments because I don't even like keep track of the ins and outs really of money, which is probably a bad thing. But it's like
set it and forget it.
And we love that.
I need to pay someone to full time, just literally like. I like to know every dollar that goes in and out, and I'd love to see an itemized report. Like I just hired marketing people, and I'm like, wow, so what did we gain? You know, they do it. I'm very creative. I'm like, blah blah.
We have a free software. You can use that. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
It'll give you automated reports, all that stuff. It'll tell you how much you're spending every month.
I'm just like, does any one of my followers like do something where I can like tag them and I just do all of it for me? Yeah. Just like hoping like I like help me help you, because I wake up some days unhinged and I'm like, I have no clue what's going on. I got no clue what's going on. I just know I have to do, like today I did like 4 interviews. Now I'm like, I'm supposed to go to, what's the next thing? I'm supposed to go to Israel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Good.
I'm going to go to Israel. I don't know. We go Thursday night, Friday.
We have a software we offer for clients, and you can use it for free. No problem.
Great.
Yeah, it'll itemize. It'll put everything on a spreadsheet. It'll be automated, so you never have to think about it.
And then it gives me back and says, Rami, this is what you gave in, gave out.
That's all of it. All of it. Yeah, it's a financial planning software. You can use it, Isabella, if you want to use it too. Thanks. For your massive. Mm-hmm. So tell us, Isabella.
Yes.
Now, all right. So wait, hold on. Before we do that, let's play one quick game. I don't want to keep you guys too long.
Don't worry.
Let's play one.
I have a question before we finish up.
Absolutely.
But I can ask.
So let me get the game, and then Rami will play the game because I didn't bring my second deck of cards today. Okay. So there's 52 values, and the point of this is to get down to someone's core in a pretty quick time. We're behavioral financial advisors, so we believe in. Finances and doing things in life have to be aligned to who you are, and the more you're aligned to who you are, the better you'll be and the more successful you'll be. So we try to help people get to that point quick. So there's 52 values in this deck. Many of these values are going to go, yeah, that's important to me, but we're looking for the core values. So the goal right now is to discard about half the pile. Rami will do it with you, and then I want to hear Isabella about money and your question. But if you can take the deck, go through the values, take out about half of them, put a discard pile and a keep pile, and then we're going to keep narrowing it down over time for you. So Isabella.
What am I doing here?
Take the deck, go through each value. If it's important for you, keep it. If it's not important for you, no, it's just you don't even have to shuffle. It's all. So if let's say, for example, friendship is something that is a core value for you, something that's the most important for you, that's a keep pile. If creativity, which I'm assuming is going to be in there, that's keep. Go through the 52. Isabella, I want to hear from you. Try to discard as many as you possibly can. Isabella.
Okay.
You want to hear from, what do you mean?
I want to hear you had a question.
Oh, okay. I'll ask a question.
No, go for it. They'll take a few minutes. Don't worry about it.
Okay, well, it's a question for both of you, but he can answer what he's done. So, Yair, what is something that you want your followers and podcast watchers and Jewish and Israeli people and allies of us in the world to know?
So what I'm looking for right now is that people can understand that the successful people of the world are just people. There's something in wrestling, there's something in the army that really levels the playing field. And the reason why I found success very quickly in my life is because I didn't look at people as the image that they are looking to portray. I looked at people as the way that they are today. So the goal of the podcast and the goal of what I'm doing is to say, and number one is to empower people. And that's something that I feel I'm strong at. But number two is to show people that you can be the next Kosha Dillz. You could be the next Isabella. You can be the next Ellie Beer. You just have to start and do it. And if you're on the way, there's people who have been successful, and this is who they are, and they're just opening themselves up. I mean, talking about the army and Holocaust, and these are things, it's like, and then people can relate to that story, and then they can go, you know what? He has the same story as me. What am I doing? Because the video is just the content videos that Rami does is so small compared to how much work he actually does it. But if you know who he is and you take his personality type and you put that into your DNA, you're going to be more successful than him. And that's what we want. And we were talking at the beginning of the podcast is that the diversification of Jewish rappers, would it be amazing for you if there was another 50 Jewish rappers and we dominated the rapper community?
It would be crazy.
It'd be crazy, right? It'd be amazing. So that's it. And that's
more, I say there should always be more Jewish rappers.
Absolutely.
More Jewish DJs.
Shout out to Tuna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
my number one story.
So no, I got my number one right here. For Jews. For Jews.
Who's your number one outside of?
It's tough for me. Right now I'm a podcast guy, but I've been very Israel. I just saw Steve Miller Band live, which I loved. I like the Doors. I used to like Pink Floyd before he hates.
Yeah, we all used to like Pink
wants
Floyd.
to murder me. I even got my son a little sippy cup of Pink Floyd, and that's going in the garbage. Maybe I'll just bring it to one of your rants. Yeah,
put some Israeli flag stickers on it. I'll send them.
Yeah, exactly. One of the rallies. But I'm very fortunate that I've been able to meet a lot of the people that I find like the most successful. Take that and keep narrowing it down.
No, I narrow it down again.
Yeah, how many you got? Yeah, you got a lot. Keep going. Try to get that down to 15. 15 now you're up to.
Well, you're in action. Show people what I'm doing.
Wherever you want.
Continue speaking. Go ahead.
So yeah, that's really been my goal, and that's kind of why we're doing this. This isn't something that we needed to do. This is something that we wanted to, that we felt was the next stage in our lives. And I've been reached out to people across the world, people who aren't even Jewish, people I had somebody reach out to me from Ireland saying, I was so scared, but you brought some light into my day. And it's all the business owner community, and we're rallying the business owner community, which is really, really amazing. You're up to 15. If you can take him and line him out. Other way. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. Oh, that's even better. All right. So you're at 10. You want to read them out to us?
Yes. Adventure seeks out and participates in exciting events that involve uncertainty. I love adventure. New Zealand. Shout out to y'all.
Yeah.
Achievement places importance on the fulfillment. I love achieving things. It is fun. And I think it's important to have competition, if not with someone else, within yourself. Community. I love people that, I don't know, like the hip hop community, Jewish community, recovery community. For me, really big, really important to go to a diner with a bunch of people that I like and sit like 8 of us at a table, whatever that community is. You know,
absolutely.
Service. I love service work. It's like a hidden gem in life is doing service for others. That is super key to me. Not to say I do it a lot. No, but you but because I'm a very self-seeking person.
That's your family. It's your family code. It's very interesting because you guys have all served.
Well, yeah, in a different way, yeah. But like service in general, just being that, for a person, and just being of service in any way. Play. I just need to like do certain things that are fun, treat myself. I have a lot of trauma in my life. So I'm just like, all right, today I need to like go barefoot and play soccer in like a field of like nice grass. New Zealand has this amazing grass. I walked barefoot around the whole country. Like people deserve to walk.
Yeah.
People deserve.
I've done that before.
People deserve
it's called
to
grounding.
Yeah.
You got energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
People deserve to like put their feet in mud pies of like from cows and then go rub it off on the grass of New Zealand. So shout out to that grass. Relationships.
It's got its own Instagram page.
Friendship. Yeah, the grass of New Zealand. Relationships. I just like connecting with people. That's sort of my MO. I need to connect. I'm a connector and a schmoozer. And health first and foremost. My father and my parents, like there's a couple of things they always take care of your teeth. Take care of your teeth. Go see the dentist. Like if you don't have teeth, you won't be doing your living. If you know what I mean. And
absolutely.
If you don't have teeth, you won't be doing what you're doing. I'm sorry. If you're whatever else you got, like I was like coughing for a month and my dad's like, maybe I have pneumonia. I'm like, my job, like I said, the $50, I'm going to want to pay. I don't want to pay all this extra money to see if I have pneumonia because I probably don't have it. So it's worth that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
And like, you need to have tests. Like, imagine if children live like that. That's how I'm, family. I love family. I'm sure I could be a better family member, but I do love my family. Yeah. Education. I've recently learned a lot about, I saw this one thing by this dude, Ryan Holiday. He's like big on stoicism. I think it was the worst thing is being voluntarily illiterate, meaning like you know how to read, you know how to study, yet you choose not to. You're like in your phone or doing this stuff, but like you have the ability to read a book. Just read the book. It doesn't say you have to like it. I do so many things I don't like. All of a sudden, I'm like, well, I don't know. Is this too much? I come up with every excuse
Absolutely.
not to read. But audiobooks are your friends. And faith.
Blinkist app.
What's it called?
Blinkist.
Blinkist.
It
Sorry.
like summarizes chapters for you if you're even more
Oh,
lazy.
like Cliff Notes,
More than
but
all
digital.
It's, yeah.
Probably like an
Fire.
AI thing.
Faith. So a lot of people are like, well, Jewish religion. And this is funny. I'm like, I would say, yeah, I'm a spiritual person. I feel that's such an overused statement. So I have no clue where my money's going to come from every day. And I wake up and I'm like, let's do stuff. And I don't know who will meet me from this. My brother woke up, and didn't know that you're going to be donating $1,500 to Shermer 360 Krav Maga,
absolutely.
Florida. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now someone else doesn't know that they're going to get a free class, right?
And they're able to then empower others,
so it just kind of goes down the line. So I remember performing outside the Grammys because it was like my buddy had my buddy Jesse Shack, and he produced my records, and he was nominated for doing See a Chandelier. You know the song? Chandelier. It's a very whoa. Yeah. So I'm like, whoa, from the chandelier. Okay. I'm singing horrible. So I was like, I'm going to just rap outside. My old roommate told me to rap outside, and shout out to Lonnie. He's like, go do it. Just busk outside the Grammys. And then somehow I did this, I did that. I met Weird Al Yankovic, all these like little things. I went to a party with Taylor Swift that night. I wasn't there with her, but I met her. You know what I mean? It was like one of those LA nights. If you're out there listening, one of those LA nights. And a week later, I got an email from something I signed up. Some people were filming me, and I ended up getting in like a Chevrolet commercial that became like 50 grand. I mean, it was like my biggest thing. It was like a $50,000 commercial that said, we use real people, not actors. And I went and did it. It was for like a $150 gift card. But I remember this because I had no clue that the action I took going through fear and the shame of not being inside the Grammys, right? I had tried to buy tickets to go to the Grammys and it got rejected. So all these things, I'm like, I'm trying to go in, and whatever, some higher powers like, no, you're going to stay outside and you're going to do that. I met the person, and then I'm sure everyone would have wanted to be in my situation.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rejection is redirection.
Yeah. That's
it. Well, that's your strength. You have no fear of being booed, and you have no fear of that. And that's why you've been good.
I need a couple good boos. Boo.
No, right now we need you going. We need you going.
I just got a couple of goos get me going.
Break this down to 5.
Break this down to 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Relationships. Okay.
This is number 1.
Relationships.
Yeah.
Yep. Service, community, health, and faith. I would say that's kind of the person I'm trying to be. With health, you could play. With faith, you have adventure. With faith, you'll get education. With faith, you'll keep in touch with your family. Relationships could go for family. Relationships help achievement. Service could also be in play. You know what I mean? Playing basketball with a bunch of kids, people, you know what I mean? All those things. Absolutely. So everything, all these 5 are a part of this. So
do you find most empowered when you're helping other people?
Yeah. The other day I was like timing something. The other day I was like being a timer.
Mm-hmm. Just helping.
Just being a timer. And
standing up for the little people that can't stand up for themselves.
No. I was just doing the time.
No, I'm saying in general.
that was not going to a stopwatch.
Yeah, which someone needs to be.
Yeah, but like, like relationships, service. Yeah. Like the other day I met this kid. He's like, I'm a Jewish rapper too. And I'm like, oh, perfect. You want to do a show? And it probably been like a pain in the ass for him to get there and up there. And I'm like, oh, what a great opportunity to help somebody. But the first thing I used to think, like another I remember meeting other people and they're like, oh, you're like the competition. And which is fine. I don't mind being the competition because there's competitive spots. But for me, if I could lend a helping hand by service is such an easy thing to do because all you have to do is listen to someone and be like, oh, here's an email. Here, let me text you with somebody. And you could literally change someone's life by doing absolutely nothing. Yeah. I am in the world of doing the least amount for the most of return.
We do that all day. We say we can change the trajectory of someone's life. We love it. We love it. And
we're introducing people all the time.
For us, for my 5 values are loyal.
And you never know where it's just like us. You said.
Got no problem interrupting. No problem.
I have no problem. No, you're not stopping me. You're not stopping. So I gotta jump in.
Tell him.
Oh, I have no trouble telling him. Believe me. But we're introducing people all the time, and you never know where it's gonna lead. Like 6 months later, you get something comes up around. Just exactly what you've said.
That's the world we live in, and that's the faith for me.
Am I doing it?
Of course.
Yeah.
But I love what you're doing. I think what you're doing embodies these 5, and that's who you are. And I've only known you for a really short time, but all I hear is you chose a very specific name, and it was Kosha, because you wanted to be something that other people weren't. Your health is wrestling and everything like that, and talking about your brother and talking about the family. The service is right now. You're not. I don't think you're making money doing all this, but you're really helping. Like, in all honesty, you're really helping. That's kind of why I reached out. I was like, this guy's helping, and we're gonna help. We're gonna amplify, and we're gonna do everything we can to help him too, because we can't let him be alone.
Keep going.
The relationships. All you've spoken about this entire conversation is other rappers, your friends. Shout out to 55,000 people that we've shouted out during this time. And that's your relationships. And you haven't forgotten your roommate probably 50 years ago, your roommate in college that you still shout out to, and all these people that you've networked with and you've built with. I'm assuming you're a level of loyalty that you can't imagine, that people can't imagine, and the community. So it's like your backbone.
But what are yours here? What were yours?
So mine are loyalty. And that's loyalty, my faith, my family, my clients, my friends. That's my relationships. Independence, because I always like to think independently. Health, wealth, and integrity. Those are my 5.
I love it. All integrity is a great thing.
Yeah, absolutely. But sorry, you were saying something.
And that's like faith, one of my favorite activities is finding someone's wallet.
Really?
I found, you thought this is a brolic wallet? Found this dude. I posted it. Shout out to Jocelyn. She's been helping me for years voluntarily, Jocelyn Philman. And I found this wallet. It was like $250. It was big and had a California license. And I'm like, yes. Posted it.
You found it?
I posted on my Facebook. I'm like, Jocelyn found the dude in an immediate message. He was there. I need to get the wallet. I'm like, everything. Guy gave me $50. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
cool. It was awesome that he did that. But I was just so excited that he got everything. You know what I mean? Because I had like this really nice exchange and I know what it feels like. Like I just lost my AirPods this morning. Of course, it's in my house because I don't know. I fell asleep on the couch. Yada, yada. But then you wake up and you're like, I found my charger. And you're like, charger never left, It was there the whole time. But, that's a good feeling.
I lost my phone. I lost my phone on the subway one morning when I was going to a meeting. With my driver's license and my everything as a construction worker, I picked it up and I was able to get it back. So it's an amazing feeling when somebody reaches out to you and gives back something you lost that you thought was gone forever.
Isabella, because we love you and we want to hear from you. Tell us your top 5.
Spirituality, family, education, diversity, meaningful work.
Why? And then Dad, we want to hear from you, and then we're going to call this podcast.
Yes.
I think they just hit all the pillars of like what makes someone well-rounded. It really depends what you're going for in life. Like if you're going for making yourself amazing and proving yourself for the sake of yourself and others, or if you're going for helping the world and being more outwardly with everything you do. So I found that when I was younger, I was always worried so much about improving myself. And I was like, that's the only way I can help everyone. And I thought that if I just made myself the best version of myself, that everyone else around me would benefit from that. And it is partly true, but it's not the only thing. You'll get too caught up in your own life and seeing the world as like revolving around you if you live that way. So I also focus now on helping other people in ways that have helped me and helping them improve, and they help me improve. And I wouldn't be who I am without people who have helped lift me up and change my opinion and educate me, improve things that I was doing wrong and put put themselves aside for a minute to help me. So I learned very slowly but surely how to do that. So so that's why I chose these cards, because these
they speak to you.
Yeah, they speak to like that new version of myself that I became. Spirituality is a very it's a very connecting thing to learn and to become. And I don't mean only with religion. I mean just like with mindfulness and just improving and becoming like a more spiritual being is good for you, good for everyone. Meaningful work. I struggled a lot in my life to find meaningful work, and I think I've slowly been able to find it for the most part. There's still some work that I do that I don't think is very meaningful, but I do it because you have to pay the bills. But for the most part, I'm very happy with what I'm doing right now. Family, because I would be nothing without them. Education, I chose that specifically right now because a lot of people in the world I have found, and I'm sure you guys have, that they're just not educated enough. And that's why we can't blame a lot of people for the things that they're saying and doing. We can hold them accountable to it, but we can't fully blame them because some of them just have not been educated. So that's something I want to prioritize. And diversity, because people are human at the end of the day, and in a war it's very hard to know which humans to prioritize. So I want to prioritize as many people as I possibly can so that we come out of this war feeling like we prioritize humanity. Because in the future, when this is all in textbooks, when we're all long gone, people are going to think these were humans. They're not going to think, oh, this was one side, this was the other side. Oh, but this person said this person did that. They were just diverse humans. Everyone's different. Everyone sees everything so differently. And when this is all studied, they're going to kind of see it in one way. For the most part, it's going to be taught as however the future generations will teach it. But I hope that it will be in a just and fair way. And I hope it celebrates like all the different people that went out of their way to help each other. Amen. So the diversity is important.
Last point, there's been a lot of conversations on, oh, these are the future leaders, the people who are talking, the young kids who are talking about genocide and all this. These are the future leaders. I go, no, they're not. You're the future leader. Mm-hmm. They're not leaders. I didn't go to Harvard. I went to Rutgers. We went to Rutgers, and we're leaders. I make more money than any other Harvard kid. I'm in the 0.001% of income earners in the country.
Let's get it. Yeah, talk that.
So I don't know any.
I like that you're not like afraid.
I'm not afraid of it. I work my ass off. Yeah. I work hard. That's what I'm talking about. And I never went to Harvard. I never went to Yale.
Jews.
Never been
Jews.
Strong Jews.
Tough Jews.
Yeah. And I have no shame in it, and I work hard, and these are not the leaders. We are the leaders here. So Rami, tell us where we can find you.
In the 0.001% of Instagram.
It's true. That's true. That's what it is.
Kosha Dillz. Everything is KOSHADILLZ. If you're on LinkedIn, I'm Rami Even-Esh. I know you're a big advocate of LinkedIn. Absolutely. I feel like I might as well,
We've made millions of dollars off LinkedIn.
Great. Yes. Great. I was trying to get 10 racks. It was like to get anything from LinkedIn. Just a couple new friends and connections. Everything is koshadillzworld.com. If you're interested in a jingle for your business, I do jingles.
I love that. I love that. All right.
I'm just giving that soft pitch right here.
Will you do a jingle for us?
Yeah, 100%.
Can you do it right now?
Yeah. Are you going to get what? So what are we shouting out?
We're shouting out, I don't know, Klyman Financial, but we got to, number one, we got to do $500 to charity of Isabella's choice. Okay. Before that will pay for this, but because we did your brother. And then the second thing is I'm going to send it to 1,000 business owners across the countries, across the world. So we'll.
Okay. Wait, what's your father's name again?
David. And I'm Yair.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, ready? Let me make this clear when I drop it right here. This is for Resilient Riches with David and Yair. Okay, you know you had to get my respect up. Educated like Professor. Shout out to Isabella. Yes, sir. You know the flow like I got it hot. Plus, Shomer 360, Krav Maga. I'm getting fun. That's my brother, Roland. You about to give him 1,500. What's up? And my brother, Zach, underground with the strength coach. Yeah, you can send him a PayPal, a Venmo. Let's go. I stay wow. I'm old school. Please take the fees. Friends and family like PayPal. Hey, now, maybe I'll go to the steakhouse. Brazilian Riches. Yo, you know it's great. Al. Everything's making sense. Stick up for your people, 0.001%. Hey. That's
All
right.
right. Isabella, how can we find you? And
Yeah.
Dad, before Isabella, we want to hear your 5. I know you have a hard time remembering them.
I've actually got a combination of both of you guys. Faith, spirituality, wealth. It's different that you guys never said, but since I had no wealth, I never want to go back to that. So wealth is important to me now. Faith also, like you said, and meaningful work. Those are my 5.
Isabella, how can we find you?
Truffle, Mami, like champagne poppy, but better
Truffle,
because
Mami.
I actually stick up for Jews.
And who we giving charity to?
Wow, that's a tough one. I love all of them so much. I guess United Hatzalah, Eli Beer, is that his name?
Yeah, we're working right now on
You probably already donate.
we're working right now on an enormous donation.
You know who I want to shout out actually, and I want her to choose someone who is from New York. My friend who I've known since I was 7. Her name's Michelle Freund. She was in Israel on October 7th. Happened to just be there on vacation, and she's a PA, and she volunteered a month of her time to help during this massacre. And she wasn't even like familiar with like all the protocols there, but she just used all of the things she learned in New York, and she stayed there for a month just treating people and helping people. And I want her to choose because I don't know the name of the charity she worked with, but she should be the one to choose.
Amazing. Thank you both for coming. Dad,
Shout out to Michelle.
shout out to Michelle.
Yeah, she's great.
Thank you, Dad, for coming on, and thanks for taking the time, everybody. We love what you're doing. We love you.
For having us.
Keep doing it. Keep staying strong and keep leading.